So my name is Roz. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a rural youth organizer for Just Me for Just Us, which is an organization that works to engage youth like all of you in climate justice advocacy and civic engagement. And so today we will be planting a variety of native plants, so plants native to Maine. They'll be spread throughout the garden, I believe. And then we'll be having a discussion about why we're planting these native plants, and we're going to conclude with making a land acknowledgement, so acknowledging the indigenous communities that were the traditional stewards of this land that we now call Maine and Central. So to start, we're just going to dig in and plant the plants. There are 13 plants. You can look at the tags to see the name of them, but then after we'll talk about a little bit more about each specific plant. Okay?
In that original
No, this really isn't. Or is that like this isn't brand?
So, like anywhere here. Under here too. I don't like this area.
Yeah. Where's the compost? Yo, we're just putting it. Nice girl. Wait, look at these ribs, they're so small. And where do we put this bad boy?
There? Perfect.
We could put it just like new. How many hours you want any more paint in it?
The main, I would say one of the strongest factors about native plants is that they are really resilient, and they have endured changes in the environment, and furthermore can help the ecosystem endure further changes in the environment because of climate change. So things like flooding and temperature swings, droughts, they're really resilient to those. And so that strengthens the overall nature of a landscape or a garden.
And just to kind of, this is exactly what we've been talking about with adaptations, mutations that fit better into the environment and allows the organism to survive. So
how are native plants used in different ways by indigenous people? Does anyone know anything about this? How plants are used by indigenous people?
Is it food?
Food, yeah, oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Make like baskets and stuff like that.
Sweetgrass is used a lot for baskets.
Medicines.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the biggest things.
what did he say?
Medicine.
Medicine.
Yeah. Say that again?
Their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm assuming they use that stuff for fishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fishing.
Hunting. Eating water. Medicine.
Yeah. Absolutely. In fact, in 1820, so Maine was founded in 1820, but by the 1820s, over either 50 to 80% of all of the U.S.'s pharmaceuticals, so all of the medicine and medicinal practices that they had for like this new land and these new colonies, 50 to 80% of it was based on indigenous knowledge. And so often a lot of the medicines that we use today have been influenced by indigenous knowledge and indigenous practices with the plants as medicine. Have you all ever heard of how storytelling is a huge part of indigenous cultures? And it's usually like through oral storytelling, pass stories down. So a lot of those stories are really strongly connected to the land and the relationship with the land, because in a world before technology, before modern construction, everything was with the land. These plants are so prevalent in like the medicinal world, the medicine. They have been extracted, all these plants have been really heavily extracted in ways that aren't conducive to the continued growth and use of them.
So they're overusing them without punishing them.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
what colonialism is, or colonization? What Cameron just said is that they send people to like establish and claim the land, but the important part about that is that it is on land that has already been claimed and where people already live, which is who are the people that we call indigenous people. How might restoring these native species, so planting the native plants that we just planted, be an act of decolonization? So kind of like reversing the act of colonization. I'll give you a little bit more information. In settler colonialism, colonizers impose their own cultural values, religions, and laws, and make policies that do not favor the indigenous people. They seize land and control access to resources and trade. And they exploit the land economically, so they use the land for economic reasons.
Helps reduce the damage that we've done in the past
Yeah.
to these plants.
Yes.
Good job.
100%.
That's good. Good answer.
Right, if we plant more, like it's an act of undoing what we have done by harvesting these plants unsustainably. Anyone else have any thoughts? What about just like learning about that? How could that be an act of decolonization?
Because they're not forgotten then. You know,
Yes.
not remembering.
I'm going to give you all some paper, and instead of having a discussion on this, because I know it can sometimes be hard to like think about that, and we have like internal processors, there are 1, 2, and 3 different steps in making a land acknowledgement. You can use the land acknowledgement formats on the back. There are fill in the blanks. There are 2 different land acknowledgements. One of them is from Wild Seed Project. And Wild Seed Project is essentially what we're doing here today, where they distribute native seeds throughout the state of Maine and make it accessible so that all people can restore the ecosystems with the native seeds. So anything that was important that...
Okay, Lucas.
Thank you.
Because if we didn't have medicine, no, not recording, buddy. Dude, I know because I had something to say.